With Coach Raymond of KCCA Panthers, coach, a 4-point victory for your side, 4 games, 4 wins. How happy are you with the position that you're in right about now?
Of course, I'm happy. I'm happy with the win tonight, but we still have a long way to go. It's a long season, 1 game at a time.
Yeah, this game here, you came down with a wire, but in the first quarter you had a 19-9. You're playing very well at defensive, but in the second quarter you seem to collapse. What do you think was the issue there?
I think managing the game in its entirety is where we need to strengthen. And I think it goes back. We will go back to the drawing board and look at it and look at the mistakes we made. Is it with the guys that came off the bench? Is it with simply the mindset? We felt okay. We have a good lead, and for some reason we thought game was done, which is unacceptable. And credit to UCU. They came out all guns blazing and took it a possession at a time and were in the game for the larger part. So credit to them, really. Credit to UCU.
When we go to the second half, let me just try to talk about our personality here. Emma Odonga was leading you guys in the first quarter, gave you energy, but after that, we saw Stanley Mugerwa exert himself more and more. And he finished with 20 plus points and I think 73 rebounds. What do you have to say about him?
Emma is the longest serving player on this team, and he's enjoying himself. He's enjoying himself, and he's taking the challenge, straight on with the roster that we have right now. He feels he knows and he understands his role, and he knows exactly what we need from him. At times we have to put him on the 4. At times we have to put him on the 2. So it's a tough place to be as a player, but right now he's managing it well. But he's big for us. He's the captain and he's leading from the front.
Yeah, and for Stanley Mugerwa, the matchup between him and Kaira is only expected.
Yes.
And he won it overwhelmingly by far. How impressed were you with seeing a performance like that from a guy that you brought in to do a job, and then he does it really so well?
Yeah, Stanley was big tonight. Understood his roles, defend the picks well, because that was critical. UCU are really well structured, and you have to defend well those critical moments of the game. So he did that. He was physical, and he took his shots, and he's big for us this year. It's a pleasure to have him.
We saw another player who stood out, Davis Asimwe. Defensively, he has been already doing his work, trying to put a lot of pressure as much as he can and contain the guards. But he came up, I think, in the third quarter there, scored for you some 2 or 3 consecutive 3-point shots, which changed the momentum for you guys. How much did that switch, and how did it bring you back in the game?
One of those moments when one of your top players just steps up. And those are the moments that I keep reminding Davis and a couple of other players that it may not work out for you, but at the right time you have to stay consistent, doing the right things, getting in the right spacing, and then when the chance comes, you have to grab it with open arms, and he did that at the right moment, and it was big for us. Those threes really gave us momentum in the second half.
You were rotating ideally. In the first half, you brought in Ottawa, you brought in Austin, but later in the second half, you were rotating 6 guys. What was the logic behind that?
Of course, we have a couple of guys who are still working up their fitness levels, so they can't have some guys cannot have 25 or 30 minutes, So it comes down to that. I have also 2 players who did not play, and they can't play actually. They can't get any minutes tonight. So simply because of injury, they're coming back from injury. Emmanuel Ateng, Livingstone, Kimambo also picked up a knock on Monday, so he can't get minutes tonight. So it's all about managing what the physios recommend, and also seeing what moments can I throw them out there to keep the momentum up on the team.
As we close, you had a debut, to Sa Mumbaya.
To say Mampuya.
To say Mampuya. What
Yes.
do you have to say about his performance?
A special player, really, a special player. When you come in Lugogo, you see so many lines, and it's your first time to even see the arena, and the crowd. It's a new country for him, so it was what we asked for from him. Just get out there and play basketball and control the game for us, and he did that. He did that tonight. He struggled, of course, for some parts of the game, but he did that. And I think he showed the experience that he can play at the top level, even if it's the first game of the season for him.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.